welcome. I am Lucinda Curran, your host for the Environmental Sensitivities Symposium, a world-first event. Today I have the pleasure of introducing you to Karen Palmer. Could you tell us what the work is that you do?
I am a Kundalini Yoga instructor. I teach people how to access the spiritual energy in their body so that they can bring out the most positive energy for themselves and release anything that isn't serving them. So I teach people how to use breath work and movement and meditation to really increase their sensibility and their experiences in the world.
And how is it that you came to do this work?
That's an interesting story in itself. 14 years ago, I was diagnosed with cervical cancer, and the doctors explained to me that I wouldn't be able to have children, and that I wouldn't be able to, that if I didn't have the surgery that they talked about, that I may die. And I explored every natural aspect of how to heal myself spiritually, mentally, and physically. And I was able to, through diet and exercise and spirituality, I was able to heal myself. And I have been cancer-free for 14 years now.
That's wonderful. It's a very big achievement doing that, especially just doing it in your own way.
You know, what's amazing is my doctor still asks me to talk to other women. He's like, can you just explain? I don't understand what you did. Like, I know that it was something woo-woo, but I don't understand what it is that you did. But can you just share with the other women? Because I really think that what you do really can help them. And that means so much to me, because I really believe that the work that I do with people is I help people access the magic that's inside of them so that they can heal any ailment. It doesn't matter what the ailment is.
Why is it that you're so passionate about the work that you do?
I'm really passionate about the work that I do because I feel like it can completely transform the planet, and I really believe that our world needs kindness and compassion and connection. And I really believe that Kundalini Yoga and any type of experience where you can really feel and connect with people who are like-minded, you can really start to see that we have so many more similarities than differences. And if we could just really focus on the similarities, no matter what country we're from, no matter what our past experiences have been. Actually, our past experiences are very similar too. If we take the time to listen to each other, I think that there's a really important lesson that I learned from one of my interviews that I did on my show, is that if we just show up in the world and try to show up by just being respectful and letting the person who's speaking be truly heard and validated, we could totally transform the planet. Like, just think about that. Just think about if our governments could do that for each other instead of just always believing that they're right, I'm right, and just listening to the other person and finding a way that we can get a common ground. I really believe that yoga is the common ground. 20 million people are practicing yoga now. And, you know, so many people used to just think it was so, like, you know, I'm not going to do yoga. But I've been doing it for 17 years, and honestly, I'll never stop. And it gives me a sense of peace, and every day that I do my yoga and I do my practice, I feel like I can easily and flexibly go through the day without, even though I'm flexible in my mind and in my body, my world becomes more flexible. The external becomes more flexible because I am very focused and I have more intention and I'm able to have more concentration because I have worked out my inner strength and worked and connected with my inner strength, so that my inner strength is kind of taken over the show. And when I don't do my practice, I totally feel it the whole day. Like I feel like I'm just trying to run and catch up.
And so in terms of all the different schools of yoga, why did you choose Kundalini?
I chose Kundalini because I felt that working with the chakras really resonated for me. The fact that the root chakra is based out of our fear of not having security and not feeling safe in the world, that really resonated with me. And then the fact that the sacral chakra was about not being creative, and when that is blocked, we're not really sharing our true self, and we're not really being the creative being that we came here to be. And then the solar plexus, the fears and the doubts and the butterflies in our tummy, you know, just that resonated with me. And then knowing that when my heart is closed, I can't really let people in. I can't really let people love me, and I can't really love other people. And when it's closed, I really feel resentment and a lot of disappointment. When it's open, I feel so connected to every single person and living being on the planet, and I feel a responsibility to be their voice and to help them in any way that I can. And then when the throat chakra is open, I can speak my truth, and I can really, really give inspiration and words that empower people, words that inspire. And then when the third eye's open, you know, the mind's eye's open, I see the world through the eyes of love and hope and possibility. And then when the crown chakra is open, I feel connected to all that is. I feel the oneness of everything in the world. And I feel a real power of being able to share that in a bigger and more powerful way. And I'm not afraid. And so Kundalini Yoga has given me limitless possibilities. It's made me realize that I am the endless possibilities that I'd always hoped for, you know, that it's always been inside of me. And I love to teach others about that, because people, we all need to be reminded. We all need to be reminded. That's all it is just, I'm not teaching anything really. I'm teaching people to connect with the energy that's inside of them. It's already been there. It's always accessible. And it's already been proven that every single person has these energetic centers in their body. So it's just a matter of, do you really want to keep them blocked, or would you rather go through life with endless possibilities?
Sounds like an obvious choice to make, doesn't it? So one of the things that I know about yoga as well is that breathing is really important, and working with the breath. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, you know, there's two breathing techniques that I really, really encourage people to learn. And if you learn these two breathing techniques, you can do them pretty much anywhere. You know, when you're driving in your car, when you have a presentation that you need to give, or when you have fear coming up in your heart, and you're, you know, even with your own family, you're going to Thanksgiving dinner and you know that there's going to be issues that are going to come up, you know. These breathing techniques can really take you to connect with your inner strength and your inner peace. And so one of my favorite ones that I do is called ocean breath. And when you start to do those breathing techniques, it can help you when you're trying to go to sleep at night, when you have all that mind chatter, when you have a lot of your to-do lists for the next day. And there's just a lot of ways that you can really bring that breathing into your day-to-day life. And the second breathing technique is called breath of fire. It's kind of like panting for a dog, but when you do that, you're really pumping your belly, your solar plexus, what I talked about, where our fears and our doubts like to live. And so if you just do that breathing technique, you will start to really, and you don't have to close your eyes, you can keep your eyes open. I do it actually at stoplights myself. Like when I'm stuck at a stoplight and I know that I'm running late or I have to be at an appointment, and I know that there's really nothing I can do, like I can't make the light change. So I go into my breathing and I do my breath of fire, and I really, really encourage you to learn how to do this so that, you know, no matter what's going on in your life, if you just breathe through it, you will really, really excel. And no matter what you're trying to do, you can really get through almost any challenge with your breath. So you'll feel this breathing really pumping through your solar plexus, working out your fears, working out your doubts, and all your power and your strength begins to come back into that moment, and your breath starts to uplift you so that you can really, really be present in the moment.
In terms of people with environmental sensitivities, a lot of people have got a lot of health issues. They're sensitive to different things, be it chemicals or electricity. They may have Lyme disease, chronic fatigue, a whole lot of different sorts of things. These breathing techniques and the other techniques that you'll be teaching us can be done by anyone. Is that right? And they will also, would they be helpful for everybody as well?
They are. They're really helpful for any ailments. And the more that you do these exercises, like I said, the more flexible you become, the more, you know, adaptable you are with all conditions. And you start to really tap into that inner strength, that inner peace. And no matter what's happening on the external, you start to really feel empowered by the fact that you can make better choices for yourself and for your health, and that you can really turn around your ailments. I mean, I've helped people with arthritis. I've helped people that have every kind of ailment that they can come to me with, and really allowing themselves to connect with this inner strength, this inner peace. They take the world and they are not being so driven by the world. They know that the internal is more powerful than the external. And any external circumstances can be worked through when we learn these techniques.
So Karen Palmer will be a speaker at the Environmental Sensitivities Symposium, and you can find out more at environmentalsensitivities-symposium.com.